Hello. Um, I don't really even know what this video is supposed to be, but I guess consider it like just me talking. Or something. I'm very close. I'm within maybe a month or two, more like 2 months away from being able to have music that I've written fully produced. I'm very, very, very close. Um, but I've become a little bit concerned, or well, I have become a little bit concerned about whether or not anything that I'm doing is really worth it. Um, I I've been fighting this like really weird thought where I've been learning how to play guitar and I've been learning different chords and chord progressions and cool things and great things and all that. Um, and I don't know how to reason with myself about certain things musically. What I mean by that is that I want to play music, um, and I want to be, and I want, and I want to be a great musician, not for anybody besides like myself. As far as I'm concerned, I think the music is like that I'm writing is really cool. I think it's great, very full sounding. If I had to like put like a pin on my first EP in terms of like sound, it would be very huge and very I don't want to say depressing, but it's very sad music. All of it on the EP. It's only like it's gonna be 4 songs, like 3 or 4 songs, but all of it is very sad, depressing. Actually, you could probably argue that it's like vacuous. It's very like engulfing, and that goes along with the huge thing. Um, but I find it a little bit hard now, not because of anything that I've done differently, really, but because now I'm having doubts. Not that I don't think my music is cool or that it could be profitable somehow or that people will just absolutely despise it or something, but because that I don't know if the route that I'm taking musically is even the route that I want to be on. Not necessarily in like genre wise. I think the genre is pretty cool. It's very like doomy, very dreamy. So it's like shoegaze mixed with like doom with like huge breakdowns and stuff. It's very cool. But in general, with like even recording music, I want to play music. I don't want I don't want it to be a bedroom artist. I want to play music. This has been something that I've been working towards since I was 13 years old. I knew at like the advent of my teenage years that I wanted to play music. I wanted to play shows, do cool things, meet fans, do great things musically. But with the way that I currently have done literally everything. So like I have an album that I'm gonna be re-recording, but all of the album is written, like all of it's done. I could probably chop a song off, or maybe even add a song later or something. But at least as it stands right now, it's been written and done since like January. But I wanted to release an EP first just to get my foot in the door in terms of how this music industry works, especially for somebody who is self-recording and self-producing everything, which is sort of kind of a lie. I ended up getting somebody to play bass for me. I paid them to play bass, but essentially 90% of it is effectively me. And the person doing bass for me also did drums, so like, but still, like 90% of it was written by me. There are two really big problems with that, though. Is that one, I haven't taught anybody to play any of the music. It's not necessarily exactly very complicated music. It's not like but I haven't. Only I know how to play it really. On top of that, I don't have anybody that is able to play it. It's just me. So, I've been really blocking out the idea of scrapping, maybe not scrapping it, but putting my music on like the back of the table and then trying to espout myself to other people. I'm not like a virtuoso. I can't like all over guitar. I can't do that. My thing is like chords and harmony. I think I come up with cool chord ideas and maybe play cool things. But that's besides the point. My thing is getting with people, playing cool things, having a good time. I have done the complete opposite of that ever since like 2016. I've only been like writing my own stuff, like coming up with things on my own, like writing riffs, doing things, but never playing with other people. There have been very few times where I've been able to go to people and play with them or something, but in general, it's been just either me and then writing with one of my best friends, one of my like 3 best friends, Steven. We were in like a band together. It was called Nominalist. We had like an entire album written and recorded. We just had to pay for the rest of the mastering. We had like, I think like $1,000 left, or like I don't think it was that much, but it was so. We were like on the cusp of having a complete album out of me and Stevens. We had a friend named Taylor who was doing drums for us. All we really needed was like a bassist or something. But it didn't really end up working out, and that all fell apart. Before that, I had a band called Perceiver. We played a bunch of shows, did a cool bunch of things, released like a kind of crudely recorded EP with 5 songs on it, but mainly we played just a shit ton of shows around where we lived. That didn't end up working out very well in general towards the end. Everything just ended up being like fucked. But I look back on my playing of music with Perceiver, and some of that shit, that was like the greatest time of my entire life. I think I was, even though it ended up like shitting on me, I'll leave it at that. But those shows that I was playing with Perceiver were some of the best shits of my entire. I look back fondly at those shows because that was what I wanted to do. Before Perceiver, I had done like rap stuff where I was like rapping. and like in school I would make beats with like a pencil and like my like the pounding on the tables or whatever. And it would be cool. I would make beats. I would rap. It was cool. I liked doing it. It was fun because I was doing it with other people. I would like make a beat. Somebody else would like make a beat, and I would like rap, and then other people would rap, and it was cool. It felt like a conglomeration. It felt good. Um, and then after that, like Perceiver happened, and then after Perceiver, but before Nominalist, I had done like started a project called The Hypnotist, which combined elements of like sort of like electronic music um and like rap and like but like it had like new metal stuff happening. It was really cool. It was a very unique blend. I made it all on my phone, or well, my old phone at the time. But I made it all on my phone with GarageBand. But that it sounded good. I took a long time. It took an absolutely fucking long time, and I ended up breaking the phone that I had by dropping it in the toilet, and all of that lost. So I gave up on the entire thing. But yeah, and so the Nominalist happened, and then it didn't end up happening, and then now I'm here. Now I'm working on a project of my own where it's just me. I am self-producing literally everything. If it's not me recording it or writing it, I mean, all of it's written by me, but if it's not me recording it, then I'm paying somebody else to record it for me. And that shit is fucking hard. I tell you what. By yourself, it was hard with like two people when it was me and Steven. But holy fuck, doing this all on my own is like some hard shit. And I'm not like a guitarist. I mean, I play guitar. I have two guitars right here, like 2 feet away from me, and then I have my other guitar back there. But I'm not a guitarist. I think of myself more as just like a musician, like an artist, a creator of sorts. But I don't play guitar how I think normal people would envision people playing guitar. I just play chords on guitar, and maybe my definition of guitarist is a little bit too narrow or something. But I think I have a pretty unique approach to playing guitar that I applied to this, to the project I'm working on now, which makes it sort of very hard to explain to people what I'm doing, really. Sorry for that entire ramble, but this release of this EP, even if it's just an EP with like 3 or 4 songs on it, I have worked through trial and trial and trial to get something like this out. With Nominalist and Perceiver, they were like progressive metal things, more so Nominalist than Perceiver. Perceiver was like a conglomeration of like metalcore and like in progressive death. It was like a weird mixture, and it was cool. It was very immature, but it was cool. It was cool to be. It was fun to be. Nominalist was significantly more forward thinking. Steven had a very forward-thinking brain in terms of how to play the guitar. He used the guitar as a guitar, so he would like play leads and play riffs, but he was very forward-thinking with it. He wanted to like not just write memorable riffs, but write memorable songs, and almost in like a larger-than-life kind of way, which was good. I mean, I wanted to do that too. And then with Hypnotist, it was interesting because it was just a whole new thing that I don't think anybody heard before. And like, it's with what I have going on now with my current project, I'm taking elements of all the things that I learned and just thrusting it into YouTube, sorry, and thrusting it into this new project. But I don't have any sort of way to play shows with this. I personally would be a little bit uncomfortable, like, getting somebody to mix and master this and then sending like backing tracks or something, and then it's just me that shows up to a show with like backing tracked drums and guitar and whatnot, and then just me just like, you know, I would be a little bit, if I was watching somebody do that, I would be a little bit uncomfortable just watching them. And maybe that's me, maybe I'm like an ass person or something, but now I come to this like crossroads where I am like again on the cusp of like having something that I've been working towards forever, for over 10 years now. And now I'm having second thoughts about it. Not because I don't think the music is bad or I'm not confident in the music, but because I'm not confident in like the career direction, I guess. If I didn't have, if I had like a band, if it was me and like two or three other people that were doing stuff and we could play shows after a release or something, then I would be like, dude, this is it. I'm ready to go. Let's get it. But then the EP would already be done, and people would be able to pay for it and help me, you know. But it's not. This would have kind of already been out by now, actually. But since I'm doing everything myself, I wanted to take all of it very slow, and I wanted to take. I wanted to like. I knew mixing. I didn't want to be so close to my music to where I had to like mix and master it. So I purposely decided not to do that because I know once I started and I was like, all right, I'm gonna mix and master this all on my own, that I would get so attached to like every like micro detail of anything, and it like hurt. Like I knew that would hurt, and I just. The only reconciliation that I find in like any of it is that I've been working towards this. I've been fiending for my artistry to be on an actual release that's going to be like out. I've already like thought of making like maybe limited amounts of physicals for it, but as far as like digital, it's going to be all there. And I've already thought of that. I know I want to have this. But I don't want to trap myself in this like bedroom artist thing. I'm sort of hoping, and I think this will happen, quite honestly, I'm sort of hoping that once I do get this out, I'll be like having people like, oh, your music is cool. And we'll talk and like, oh yeah, I don't have a band for it. Do you want to play? And then it just grows from there. And not that bluntly, but I think people will come to me and be like, this is cool. It's a cool thing. You played guitar on it? Oh yeah, you know, stuff like that. It would come more naturally, of course, but you know. And I think, but I don't really think anything. I'm very weary. I'm scared. I don't want to be a bedroom artist. I don't. I really don't. Maybe instead of putting my priority into recording or something, I should have put my priority into finding members or playing with people or something. And for a while I did. I posted on Twitter and Facebook for like 4 months straight, where I was like vocalist, because I'm primarily a vocalist, though I have taken a complete backseat with vocals to learn guitar. I learned guitar for the sole purpose of being able to do this for myself, of write guitar parts, write riffs, and do cool things, and working within the limitations of learning to figure out how to do certain things. Now, has that really worked? I haven't. I don't write good riffs. I don't think. Actually, on my EP, I don't think there's a single riff on there. Really, there might be like one or something, but I don't know. Anyway, and I have a very such a. This is another thing, because it's me. I have such a specific like creative direction. I have such a specific creative direction, so specific that like I don't think. Not to be like pretentious, and forgive me if this sounds shitty pretentious, but there are things I have done on this EP that I don't think any other, or even on the album that's going to be coming after that even, but on the EP, there are things that are done that I don't think any artist that I have personally heard has ever done before. Um, Whether it be like in progressive metal or like death metal or anything really like that. And I think, I don't know, and that's, forgive me if that's like arrogant or ignorant of other artistry or something, but I just, and that's another thing. I knew that if if I had other members, I would have to compromise. I don't know how to describe this better, but creative control. Not that I'm like a control freak or anything, but I would have to compromise my vision for my project to include the ideas of other people. That's not a problem. I did it with 2 other bands, um, and did it when I was rapping. I did it with other rappers for like beats and stuff, and it was cool. I had literally no problem doing it, though it would clash sometimes. Of course, I think it happens with every band, but I just don't know. I just don't know. I think these are not problems that are unique to me. I think all artists, whether they're in a band with a bunch of people or just singular by themselves, always come to a crossroads similar to this. But I told myself before this year started, before 2021 started, that if I didn't have music out by this year, that was like completely released, anybody can digest it, that I would give up. I would sell all of my music equipment. I would probably keep my one amp and my one guitar just to play around, maybe encounter musical people that want to play music or something. But I would sell my mic, all of my equipment, keep my Mac, of course, but sell all my equipment, and then just be a music digester. But I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. I don't want to give up. But I would have to. I would have to. I don't want to continue putting so much fucking effort into this for it just to result in nothing every time. I just don't know. And I'm tired of not having anything to, not to prove my worth, but to be able to show to people. It's sort of kind of a little bit of a meme, where it's like the parent that has like a musician kid, sort of, where it's like they want to do music, and it comes off to most people that that's not like a fruitful career. There isn't any immediate satisfaction to it, like there is like an IT job or a construction job or something, where like you go there and you get to watch the building be built, then you get a paycheck, but with music it's so much different. I have a job right now, and I get paid every 2 weeks, and that's it. I don't have the. If I had no music, if I had no, I would still get paid. But had I not had a job, had I not had a job, had I not had a job, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this. And had I did have money to do any of this, there wouldn't be any plausible way at my current musical state that I would have been able to like do literally anything. Excuse me. And I'm like a prime example of that. I don't have anything. Oh yeah, how long you been doing music for? Oh, 11 years. Oh yeah, you have any music out? No, I don't. And that hurts. Not necessarily because it's bad, but and I've told people, oh, you have like demos and stuff out. Yeah, that doesn't cut it. I'm sure people that have tried music for shorter periods of time, like really, like maybe like a year or like even 6 months, have come up with a cute little like beat or like a cute little song or something, and then they just give up on it. Those people have more than what I do. And maybe it's a self-satisfaction thing. I don't know. I don't really have a way to describe it, really. People have said, oh, your demos are just as valid to show you how much of a musician you are or something, you know? And it's like, sure, I get it, but it's more like a palette. It's like, here's what I have done. Or at least what I can do. Here's what I can do. But albums and like official, like mixed, mastered releases, this is what I have done. Not what I can do. At that point, there isn't any potential. This is it. Like, it is. I mean, of course, there's still potential afterwards, like, to write new music, but that is it. Like, once you release an EP or an album, even a single, once you release an EP or an album, this is what I can do. I have done this. This is what I have done. That's the progression. I can do. I have done this. This is what I've done. And I want to get to that. I have this. Honestly, releasing an album or like a professional EP or whatever, that's something you can put on a resume, regardless of what job it is. That's something you can put on a resume. I mean, I don't, even if it's not even important to the job, like you can go into some like, you could like go to UPS or something and be like, yeah, I've written an album. You know? Even if I didn't take music as seriously as I do, I would be proud of that if I had released an album like some years before. I don't know. This video is already way too long. I don't think anybody's gonna reach to the end of this shit, but if you do, I appreciate you watching. I'm gonna end this because it's already way too long. Thought it'd be like 5 minutes, but it ended up being like 30. I think there's like a few other videos I have where I've said like the exact same thing, where it's like, I didn't think it'd be this long, but whatever. Alright, if you're here, thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.